Hello friends, this is lesson number 48 in the series of criticism and theories in English literature. In the last two videos we discussed the structuralist thinker Ferdinand de Saussure and Charles Sanders Peirce. They practiced linguistic structuralism, means how in a language the structuralism works. In this video we shall discuss Claude Lévi-Strauss, another structuralist thinker. But unlike the previous thinkers of structuralism, he practiced structural anthropology. Now, what is anthropology? It is the study of social science, where every aspect of human life is considered, whether it is a social life or cultural part or even the biological part. How we developed as a human being right from the origin, everything is studied. So even the study of the language also falls under anthropology. In short, we can say that anthropology makes approach towards every sphere of human life. It is the study what makes us human. Anyway, Claude Lévi-Strauss, he was born in the year 1908 and died 2009. He was born in Belgium, but he is known as a French anthropologist. He grew up in France and he bears the French nationality. As in the beginning of this lesson I mentioned that he is a structural anthropologist and his famous work is Structural Anthropology. One more work he wrote, The Raw and the Cooked. The Raw and the Cooked. And in this work he gives the concept of binary opposition. In this concept actually he gives us a way to understand, a structuralist way to understand a language. Now try to recall what we have studied in linguistic structuralism. In the previous lessons we understood this fact that any word does not have a fixed meaning at its own. Rather it gets the meaning from the larger structure to which it belongs. From the synonyms, from the opposite ones, from the references, the word gets the meaning. Now Claude Lévi-Strauss is also saying the same thing, that with binary opposition we understand a language. And even if we see any language, it belongs to a culture, and every culture has some hidden rules. Through that rule or a system, the words gets meaning. And through binary opposition, the relation of one word is formed with the another. Like we understand the concept of the word man with the concept of the women. Because if there is women, only then we have the concept of the man. In similar way, day and night. What day is, what night is not. What good is, what bad is not. So if something is bad, it means it is not good. Through that sort of opposition of the words, we understand the larger part of a language that we use. So this is the concept of the binary opposition given by Claude Lévi-Strauss in the book The Raw and the Cooked. According to him, happiness, for example, the word happiness has meaning only when there is the concept of sadness. So that sort of opposition, the binary opposition, is what he is talking about. The concepts in the social life are also formed in this way. Now, the next we have the concept of myth and kinship. He wrote a work, and that is the structural study of myth. And in that he gives the concept of myth and kinship. According to him, all the diverse cultures in the world, they all go through with the fundamental system of the myth and kinship. Here myth means the heard stories that we hear from our forefathers, and that may not be true, or there may be different versions of the stories. And kinship is something like a brotherhood, or where we have relation with the people, and mostly such relations are formed with blood and marriage. He says that in this world every society and culture grows with kinship, and that kinship is formed through marriages in every culture. In any family you can see if there is a husband and wife and their children. Now the children will have their relatives from the father as well as from the mother's side, and as this structure of relation grows, we see the growth of the culture and the society. So the fundamental point in kinship is marriage. When a woman from the one group is married to the other man from the another group. He calls this as atom of kinship. Atom of kinship, where parents and children form the core relationship. Core relationship. Moving on. What he says about myth, he simply said that myth is a language. As we have a language in any culture that is transformed from one generation to another, we learn the words of our mother tongue from our ancestors, from our elders, not just the meaning but also the contextual usage. So we use the language as we hear and we apply it. The same way the structure of the myth is seen in the society. It comes from the past and carried forward. We hear the myth from our forefathers and they are carried through the generations. Sometimes there occurs some variations. So a myth starts from the history and keeps on rolling by the time. One more thing he adds that as in kinship, across the diverse culture we have the same phenomena. Same with the myth. Different myths related to the origin of human life or about different religion in Western world and in Eastern world. They follow similar sort of structure. So that's all for this lesson. Remember that the two concepts given by Claude Levi-Strauss, the binary opposition and the theory of myth and kinship. The binary opposition that exists in the work The Raw and the Cooked, and myth and kinship. This concept is in the article. The name of the article is The Structural Study of Myth, and a famous work by him, that is Structural Anthropology. And there was a question in the UGC NET exam that we have to match the author with the work. So Claude Levi-Strauss is correctly matched with Structural Anthropology. So that's it for this lesson. Thanks a lot and have a great day.